Xinyan Kuaila, and welcome back. Happy Chinese New Year, everyone, and welcome to the last LPL game before the Chinese New Year break. We're going to be taking a 2-week break after this one last match. We'll be back Friday, February 23rd, but until then, this last game, Invictus Gaming versus FPX, is going to have to tide you over. And Raz, we talked about it at the beginning of the day. Invictus Gaming, they beat Snake, who were 5-1, now 6-1 in the standings. Invictus Gaming are 5-1 coming into this. Could we be seeing history repeat itself? Could FPX be taking down a top-of-the-table team?
It is a possibility, and only because we are seeing real growth when it comes to FPX. We're seeing, well, first of all, that they're going back to that kind of style that they really want to grind out for themselves. It's the roaming mid laner. It is the Fiora on the top side of the map. They want Gimgoon to thrive in the top lane. They want to keep him alone, and it seems like that is their successful point in the successful strategy. It's up to Invictus Gaming to adapt going into Game 3.
You can see Bing making his way back onto stage to go toe-to-toe with Rookie, one of the best mid laners in the league. Gimgoon settling back down and looking back across at TheShy. Invictus Gaming are not making a substitution in the top lane, and after how rough that Game 2 was, it's a bit of a confidence play from IG, knowing how emotional TheShy can be.
Well, technically, we don't know if that substitution is going to be made or not, because the only substitution I'm looking at is a champion substitution. I don't want to see the GP made that early on, because GP is a great champion. I don't really mind that. It's just so much if the pressure is being focused towards the mid lane or bottom lane. If you're going to have a GP, I'll say, then you have to have, let's say I want to see a Sejuani being picked from the jungle, right? Or the bottom side of the map. I don't necessarily want to see a Janna. I want to see like an Alistar. I just want to be able to see a supportive pick, a tanking pick, something that can start a fight if you do have GP up the top side of the map, so you actually have a response, so he's not constantly left to his own devices. If that's not going to be the case, then let's put Cho'Gath back, of course, on the top side of the map.
Maybe put TheShy on something a little bit bigger, but now our casters are now ready to get us into game number 3.
Thanks so much, Tahm. And Trask, I want to start off this conversation with, can FPX do it again? And the way I'm going to frame this is, the way that they did it in game number 2 was not the ways that you told me they were going to do it. They basically opened up an opportunity for themselves. I don't know if that particular style is consistent enough to pull out another win, especially against a team like IG.
I mean, one of the strengths that FPX have showcased, though, through their draft for both games is that they're giving themselves multiple options about how they want to attack a game and very clear-cut strategies. I feel like they've never just outright lost draft phase, like Invictus Gaming did happen to get pigeonholed into game number 2, where, you know, they didn't have an option for how they're going to engage because they did have a Cosmos jungle and GP had fallen so far behind. So can FPX do it again? Absolutely, because they've shown us the blueprint that they know how to do it. It is simply an execution thing for them, and that's why they are considered an underrated team, to quote Invictus Gaming about them, is that you see it. You see all the potential, you see the cogs turning, you know that they can get it over the line, but can they line everything up, or is it just slightly off, just that, you know, wrench gets caught in the cogs and everything falls apart?
Slightly misaligned, because in that game 2, everything did align, and that's what it looks like when it works. And it's pretty awesome to watch when it does work as well, because when, as you said,
dismantles a top team.
Right, because it's like they executed a 1-4 perfectly, and that's not something you can say about many teams in the LPL or Gimgoon's former team as well. It was just like, I wish the rest of the team right now could play well around the objective so Gimgoon can do the right thing, but now he has a team where he can do that, and the team does the right thing.
And it's kind of a very similar scenario to Invictus Gaming. You know, we talk about how it's so strange that a team can 1-4. Well, IG would also be another team that can 1-4 because they have someone so strong like TheShy in the top lane. So, you know, you've got Gimgoon, LWX, and Pepper, these very strong points for FPX, and then on the side of IG, you've got TheShy, you have JackeyLove, you have Rookie. So these are both teams that can carry from multiple positions, so they should, in theory, have very well-rounded draft compositions where they can easily flex about, you know, okay, bot lane didn't go our way, but it's fine because we've got this ace or this trump card up into the top lane or in the mid lane or something like that.
Sure, they can be fluid depending on how the game develops, so they can win through a different lane. And in that game, unfortunately, Invictus Gaming were unable to find that because they just didn't have an answer to the one winning point that FPX had, which was a very angry Fiora running at you with 6 kills.
Yeah, and unfortunately that came down to individual performance, and then draft not having an answer for them when it got that late game or that out of control. But I don't expect to see that type of performance from TheShy again. Yes, he's been, you know, fumbling a little bit recently, but nothing like an 0-5 game that we saw in game number 2. It is an outlier for sure.
Oh, 100%. Do not expect to see it again right here. And he'll definitely want to try and show his mechanics against Gimgoon heading into the second game now. But Camille, Orianna, and Java will ban against IG right here. FPX will be on the red side in this one. Azir, Rise, and Kog'Maw will be the bans from IG. And a first pick of Zoe to Rookie.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So Rookie used to have about 22% win rate on Zoe in solo queue. He has certainly spanned the champion and grind that number back up into something that is a bit more respectable than 22%, but it was not good going for Rookie initially when he found Zoe. It's not a champion that I immediately associate with him. He has played it in the LPL before. It did help them turn their victory over, not Snake. LGD is who it was when they were playing their away game in Hangzhou. But I'm not yet to say, yes, Rookie got Zoe. Zoe's an incredibly powerful champion, even though that's how I should feel. You know what I mean? Like one of the best mid laners, if not the best mid laner in the LPL, just got one of the strongest champions in the mid lane, and I'm not immediately overjoyed because I haven't seen enough tape on Rookie on Zoe to kind of turn my mind on that champion.
It's that, and also the fact that FPX have so many different champions that play well into Zoe, with Zoe being the primary first pick into Invictus Gaming, or for Invictus Gaming. So tip picks like the Tahm Kench will work very well into a Zoe pick. Vladimir will also be prioritized from FPX. The Gimgoon specials that were into the top lane can also be flexed by Bing. And Invictus Gaming will prioritize Sejuani for Ning and the Braum for bottom lane.
So turning back into Ning's most played champion again, we identify him as a hyper-aggressive jungler. He likes to get in, he likes to disturb things, but Sejuani has been his pick of choice because, again, when you have TheShy on the team, when you have JackeyLove, you need that other tank support where Baolan and Ning have to pick up that responsibility, and Sejuani fits perfectly in that niche of allowing Ning to still be hyper-proactive, but also be that tanky frontline, and that's what they were missing in game number 2, so I'm already really happy about this adjustment in game number 3.
Bing really likes his Taliyah and will be riding on Taliyah train all the way through the series. Finds his third Taliyah in game number 3. It will be a gangplank towards TheShy, so we will not get his hands on that one. And Zac will be banned against Pepper.
So is this a question if they're also going to ban the Kha'Zix? Now, I won't feel that Kha'Zix does particularly well into Sejuani. It is a preferred champion of Pepper. I kind of feel like Pepper's going to reach out and go for his Lee Sin, especially because it is a game 3 across from IG. It would mean a lot for FPX to take the victory here, and you might as well put him on something very comfortable. But they should be a double jungle ban. I don't think it can ban out Pepper, though.
No, he will still find something that he can use to be aggressive with in the jungle. We have to remember that game 2 started with him getting a triple buff over Ning as well. Like, that started off by setting him up for success, who managed to set up the rest of his team for success. It will be a second jungle ban. The Zac and the Kha'Zix out from IG here.
So that almost forces Pepper to look towards his Lee Sin.
Yeah.
But that said, Invictus Gaming would know full well what was about to happen and would have some sort of game plan in there. Now, they don't need to pick the jungler here. There's no reason that they'll continue to be pinched, so it makes sense to pick up the ADC. I would like to see a Caitlyn. I think that strategy works well for them. I also do think that LWX is a strong Caitlyn player, despite the fact that it got tripped up in game 1.
Definitely agree on that one, and Invictus Gaming back over to them. Varus has been taken away by from JackeyLove rather, so we'll have to look elsewhere now. But we know he is very strong on the hyper carry, so there's still plenty to choose from, including everything is hovered so far, Ezreal, Tristana.
And Ezreal makes a lot more sense. Naturally, you're pairing it with the Zoe, so you have a lot of poke potential and siege threat underneath the towers. If you take Tristana, then you're abusing Zoe's poke threat, and then you're doing the heavy lifting.
The demolition.
Yeah, in terms of striking down the towers or pulling it all down.
And that will be the case right here, so JackeyLove will pick that one up for himself. And Baolan will be in charge of picking the final pick for Invictus Gaming, which will be a top laner for them.
Yeah, no GP available, but something like Ornn is. We've talked about how
Cho'Gath.
Ornn kept getting banned out when I feel like it really didn't have high priority. Cho'Gath is available because it is into the Vladimir. The Jayce makes more sense as a shy champion, but maybe he's not feeling confident. Scratch that, feeling very confident.
I'll tell you what, as a top laner, like, if you get smashed like that in game 2, you are not coming into a game 3 and being like, I have a chance right here to go for a skill matchup. I'm going to go for a skill matchup into Gimgoon. So we'll actually get to see the Jayce play into Vladimir in the top side of the map and see if we can actually push out Gimgoon in this one.
And it's 2 signature champions for these guys, Jayce versus Vladimir. Goon was one of the first guys to pull out the Vladimir onto the top lane. He's been running rampant in our league since. I just wrote Kench as a jungler. Don't know why I did that.
Unfortunate. Lee Sin will
pen too.
Lee Sin will indeed On pen, that feels bad. We don't have the Tipex right here, but Lee Sin will be the final pickup for FPX, and you even said it yourself, Rusk, because pretty much all the other junglers have been taken away right here. Kha'Zix, the Zac as well, and the Jarvan, so it will be a very easy pickup for Pepper in his mind state.
Yeah, and it's also just the fact that it's Pepper. You say his mind state, he knows that it's, you know, nose to the sandstone. He wants to grind this one out. He wants to get them over the line, and that's his signature champion. Pepper has been incredibly vocal. You know, I'm going to invade Ning. I'm going to put him down. I'm going to carry my team. My name's Pepper because I'm a spicy player.
Yep.
And Lee Sin fits that perfectly. But now you got to put your money where your mouth is.
Yes, you do. You need to try and replicate how Game 2 went, and I feel like Invictus Gaming will definitely have learned a lot from that second game in terms of how FPX want to approach the early game, because while they were set up very well, that was based off of a play that turned into a triple buff start for the jungle. That's not going to happen every single time, so I expect to see something here from Invictus Gaming to stop FPX just running rampant in the first couple of minutes.
Yeah, and that's the key thing, the first couple of minutes. There's actually a window where Lee Sin and Taliyah will have the initial push on Zoe if she's not running minion dematerializer, which a lot of Zoes actually don't. It's kind of like a 50-50 these days now, simply because Zoe already takes control over pushing waves once she's level 5. She's able to clear the back caster creeps, so she doesn't necessarily need to take it to match a lot of push. So if there is that window, we may see something pretty crazy with the Lee Sin pathing. And we've already seen, you know, multiple attempted early invades, stealing buffs away, so we'll keep our eyes peeled on what Pepper and Bing start this game with.
Yeah, 100%, because I actually look towards Pep, and he's very much a player like Old World 6, like very volatile. If he wins the early game, then you're probably going to see a win from OMG if you're World 6, and same thing for Pepper, but it can go very wrong very quickly if it doesn't work out. And against Invictus Gaming, especially with a composition like this, where you can trap and pull people apart, and you can push towers so quickly with Tristana, there's potential for this game to go down the drain quite quickly.
Yeah, and it's also the fact that IG are never weak at any point in this game. They always have an option to hand the torch over, to hand the baton, so very well-rounded comp with a lot of different carry points.
Still a bunch of fans in the crowd as well. Going to see us all the way to the end, our very final game before we head to Chinese New Year for both of these two teams and for the LPL. It all comes down to a Game 3 as well. Fantastic.
Again, quickly checking on itemization. It is 8.1, so Spell Thieves on Vladimir still makes a lot of sense. And like you said, you can see him in the lower corner of your screen. There are still a ton of fans here, despite the fact that it's the last game before big break.
Yeah, I will say it's very impressive just because in Shanghai, it clears out. With a population of, what, over 30 million people all leaving Shanghai. That's what happens over Chinese New Year. So for people still to be here supporting their teams is quite a feat.
Quickly glancing at the keystone, so Tahm Kench taking a very aggressive keystone that he wants to lock down people, be able to gobble them up. Tells me that he wants to run a kill lane, or at least have a lot of aggressive pressure into the lane. So we should see LWX and Crisp, again, very far forward, trying to abuse the Caitlyn, trying to abuse the build on Tahm Kench. See if they get an opportunity this time around.
Yeah, Tahm Kench wants to get in there, though. Like, Glacial Augment on Tahm Kench is like, I'm gonna come and eat you. That is what I want to do.
Interesting that Gimgoon decided to take the heal, so probably not feeling super confident as TheShy welcomes him into lane. Normally when Vladimir takes the Unsealed Spellbook, he has the option to take the Smite, like we've seen in the NALCS, as well as what's started by Flandre in the Demacia Cup, and it allows you to get that hyper leash for your jungler, because you can tank, you can Smite for him, you can go back up into your lane. So we're now looking at the Glacial Augment Keystone build.
The run you down, the run you down build from Tahm Kench.
The lick you, gobble you up.
Yeah, we need to find a name for that. That doesn't particularly roll off the tongue, which is what Tahm Kench is trying to do. LWX getting pushed in here, just very slightly, but both AD carries just trading health.
It's also taking the Resolve Keystone to do more damage to towers, so obviously feels that they're going to try to push this down as quickly as possible and try to help out as much as possible with the Minion Dematerializer and extra tower damage.
What I will say is very interesting as we look towards the mid lane here is, well, Pepper is looking for a gank, so I'm going to focus on that one first. He's waiting around. Rookie, he just have both summoners, but if you can start burning some of these early onto the game, that would be fantastic for Bing. Once again, playing towards the top side of the lane here, Rookie. Yeah,
and both Rookie spells are down, which is why Pepper chose that moment to go, but Pepper had an easy out, Rookie had an easy out because Ning comes to his benefit, and it's now just wave control over to Bing.
Yeah, that's what Pepper came in to do in the end, so we'll actually not completely waste his time going to that mid lane there. However, he is now looking for an invade onto these Krugs. Yeah,
he knows exactly where Sejuani is, and because they have control over the mid lane, you can also see Bing helping him out. So continuously throughout this series, it has been a war between junglers in the early rotations, both of them taking everything that they can.
Pepper cutting it off while he's ahead. And that's not something you can say for Pepper all the time. He very much just goes all in on that play. But as soon as he saw Baolan leave the lane, it's like, okay, now's the time to leave. Ward hops, takes the blast cone, goes back to his jungle. Still
not the best pathing from Lee Sin. Again, it's kind of high risk, high reward. Pepper went for the play. He tried to take what he could from Sejuani, but you can see that Sejuani does have a tempo lead right now and also has access to the Raptor camp. Has an early ward on it. He's now rotating over with Rookie. Will deny it from Lee Sin. And Pepper's like, I'm not even going to try. I understand what situation I was in. I was trying to steal what I could from Ning, bullying him around. Unfortunately, his lanes responded in time, and now I'm kind of playing for the back foot.
This mid lane is pretty much just going to resolve here, I should say, in the mid lane. What is interesting though is top lane, Gimgoon still went towards the Spell Thief start despite taking the heal, so he feels confident that he doesn't need to go for something drastic like going from multiple parts at the start. He'll still go for refillable, being like, I can go back to base, then teleport back into lane. And while we're seeing a lot of harass come down from TheShy, eventually he's going to run out of mana, and Gimgoon, all he has to worry about is his health.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We were talking about how he didn't take the smite, how instead he took the heal, so yeah, he's got the refillable, but where he didn't also take defensive itemization early on into the Jayce lane, he does have that defensive summoner available to him if he needed it.
Yeah, very much like a safety net for him there. But if he doesn't use it, fantastic. Go back to base, pick up the teleport. And Pepper once again moving into the spot side of the map and actually looking towards the dragon. He's level 3, so we'll see if he can pick up this dragon.
Super early. I would assume that he'd need even just a little bit of help. Crisp and LWX could swing out over to him, maybe even just Crisp just to tank a couple of it. He's definitely going to have to smite early at some point. Yeah, here we go. Okay, Bing finally pulls over.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not sure who wins this fight, if it's going to be the Lee Sin or the dragon, but now we have Bing coming in to come in and assist, and Pepper also has the smite as well, so he'll be able to get a bunch of his health back off of this smite.
Yeah, but a level, what, minute 5 Infernal Drake into,
Huge.
Was that double Infernal?
It looks like second one will be Infernal. We have to double check on that one.
Okay, 11 minutes. That's pretty massive because 11 minutes into this game, their composition's still going to be fine. You know, the Tristana's not going to mean much there, and Caitlyn should just have flat AD as she has the BF sword now.
It is the Cloud Dragon, though, which will be the next one. So a bit of a buzzkill, unfortunately. Yeah, it could be anything else, but it is Cloud Dragon.
I feel like we keep getting Air Drake second, and then no one touches it for like
Forever.
17 minutes.
Yeah. Gimgoon to go for his first back, and we'll get punished out here. Actually goes for the Vamp Sep there by TheShy, which is actually a really interesting adaptation to go early on, because it means he can not only mash in terms of health
Sustain.
now. Yeah, he can now mash in terms of sustain. So he can start pushing back Gimgoon, which is the only commodity that he really needs to use. That being said, Pepper gonna get exhausted.
I've seen this play again. It's constantly been the war over the Raptor camp. Good read by Rookie and Ning. They plant their feet and say, no. We've now denied, what, 3 camps of Raptors? So Ning's initial camp, Pepper's initial camp, and Ning's secondary camp.
Okay, well, he's being put to sleep, and Rookie finding the opportunity. Bing has to burn that one right there. Rookie still going for the offensive. Paddle Star doesn't quite connect, but he's still on the chase. No one else to help him out. Rookie does need to clear the gap somehow. Paddle Star just flies slightly wide. That was incredibly close.
But the damage has been done, and now Pepper has to pay the price for Bing not having control of the mid lane, as multiple people are in his face. Hold on, Ning.
Well, Ning wanted this, but he's dropped low. Flick has to flash away from that one.
Okay, so... Ooh.
Oh, Bing, he's coming after this kill. Tries to block off the Sejuani, but he's already too far out. Bing is still chasing, though.
Everything that Rookie had done was now simply undone because Ning decided to go over-aggressive and look for the dive there. He could have simply moved over with Rookie and helped to work with Jayce to steal the red buff, but now Ning's in a situation where he's low health and his red buff is under fire.
Though, Ning has just caught out Lee Sin, and Baolan comes up and just eye-to-eye contact ignites him.
That was amazing for Braum. Oh, such a good death. Walks over with the drive-by. I just want an assist, guys.
Yep.
Yeah, sure. Every support
Just
ever.
wants an assist. That's not why he ignited him. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, they're going to push onto LWX. Concussive Blows are going to lock him down, but good timing on the stopwatch. JackeyLove's going to do the same right here to avoid Crisp. He's going to get the gobble on someone, and there's the trap as well. Baolan will be gobbled up here. Oh! Okay, I see how it is. JackeyLove just kicked away his support.
You are not worthy of my time anymore. Pushes him basically into enemy tower.
Wow.
Okay, so a lot of things just happened right there. The big thing, though, is that the primary pickup of the kill was Caitlyn. So Caitlyn now has a kill into her back pocket. That's going to help her. Caitlyn and Tristana have very similar breakpoints in terms of their itemization, so any type of leverage or advantage she can get there is naturally going to help because there's not going to be a window where Tristana can hit her before she hits her. Caitlyn hits back. Oh, that's already a Zeal. BF into Zeal at 8 minutes into the game.
Yep, definitely hurts. But in the top side of the map, it's actually Jayce who is winning very, very hard right now, as he has a massive CS lead. Gimgoon has to ultimate for A, wave clear, and B, to get a bunch of his health back because he is not winning in his top lane.
But he does just have to hold out for his TP to come back. So yeah, he is losing it. There's massive damage down onto his tower, but Gimgoon's not into a situation where he's going to be forced out of the lane and not have any options right now. It's simply a matter of Invictus Gaming are going to get this. It's only a question about when. Mid lane
Has to
dive.
back away. Good Winston's bite in from Baolan, setting up the play right here. We'll get the lockdown and the kill as well from Rookie, cancelling that tower aggro real quick.
And all of this vision that allowed that play to happen was set up initially when Rookie chunked out Bing the first time and tried to set up Ning to steal away Pepper's red buff. Now, again, we had a bunch of kills going back and forth. Eventually, Pepper then overextended and gave away first blood, but that vision was still used proactively because it allowed that 3-man dive to continue to punish Bing. Because one of the other things is that Bing still hasn't recovered from the mid lane. You know, his jungler hasn't been by, his support hasn't been by. No one is helping him, and he's playing from the back foot in 2 positions now for FPX, jungle and mid.
Yeah, these positions aren't going particularly
well
well.
as top lane.
Yeah, exactly. Morel and Omcon now picked up by Rookie over Bing right now, who's just returning to lane with Lost Chapter, so you can see already there is a big goal differential in that mid lane. Pepper is going to walk towards bot lane, however, look for a potential kill.
And this is the one strong point that he has on the map right now, so it makes sense that Pepper's trying to play around this, but poor Bing, he can't catch a break.
Yeah, Ning's going to do his
He
best
does
to try
have
and lock him
cleanse.
down right here. We'll have to cleanse out at some point, but that is huge damage down from the
no.
panel star, put to sleep. And the damage in for Rookie is enough to secure the kill.
From bad to worse. Now FPX are trying to force a play here. They know that this is the only opportunity that they have, and it's a small window because IG will collapse, and here comes Rookie.
Yeah, Rookie teleporting down to the bottom lane to defend this minion wave. Actually decides to cancel in the end because Baolan does make it down in time. Though the siege will continue. Pepper will probably continue tri-laning here, and Ning is a long ways away.
And that's the thing. Ning was on the other side of the map, so if they can do it in time, Braum has wall. It's still really hard to siege quickly into him, and it's going to be enough to hold out, and Invictus Gaming will get first tower. That's huge.
That is actually massive for them. And FPX, I guess they just didn't have vision over Ning right there, and they definitely didn't because there were no wards in the jungle, so decide not to go for it. They pull out, top lane goes down, and mid lane now under attack as well. This is a massive loss for FPX.
Everything is on fire in all of the side lanes. It started with Bing, unfortunately, getting chunked out, bled into the jungle. Pepper exasperated it because he then tried to go for aggressive plays after his mid lane had fallen, and poor little LWX and Chris were like, guys, we're the only one that's winning right now. You just need to stop the bleeding.
He has to back away because Ning doesn't need to go top lane, doesn't need to go mid lane either. He can just walk towards the bottom lane and try and get this lane to catch back up for JackeyLove and Baolan. Suppress LWX so he can't take the tower, because mid lane's already going to take that one very shortly.
And exactly, at any point also TheShy can just rotate, help out Rookie. Rookie's probably just going to get it naturally if he ever finds Bing with one of these skill shots. And also TheShy is completely unlucky to continue to punish Gimgoon because Pepper is relegated to protecting his bot lane.
Yeah, I mean, right now, TheShy is quite happy to go into the side lane, continue punching Gimgoon, as you said, because he's actually itemized and followed up on the Vampiric Scepter, gone towards the Blade of the Ruin King, which is very much a split push build versus I will group up with the team and start poking. So this is only going to get worse for FPX unless Pepper can open something up for the team, but he can't go bot lane right now, or at least he tried and it didn't work out, unless he knows where the Sejuani is.
And then it's also brilliant for Invictus Gaming, like on the flip side, the fact that even though JackeyLove and Baolan are having a hard time, still
Now
having
they
a
are
hard time.
making the play. Once again, he just sacrifices himself to the zombie horde. He's like, get out of here. Now he wants to re-engage, but that was the wrong idea. Ace in the hole's going to follow up. Not quite enough damage. Pepper doing this, the side steps, and will maybe get away. No, just kidding. Rookie's going to find him. Tahm Kench low, but he'll be able to waddle away. He has been ignited. The dying breath coming out there. And Rookie will find his second kill. He'll chase now onto Bing. Needs to dodge out the Sleepy Trouble bubble. It's a 1-for-2 kill.
And look at your map. TheShy is completely uncontested up into the top lane. Gimgoon can do nothing but watch his tower continue to fall, continue to be chipped away in terms of his own health bar.
And no one can help him. It's just no one can hear you scream at top lane. All by yourself.
What I was going to say is that it didn't matter that JackeyLove and Baolan had struggled in the bottom lane because all they had to do was sit and wait for the pressure to be relieved because someone had to deal with the TheShy up into the top lane. Now they go aggressive here anyway. They are going to get punished. Again, Tahm Kench with another gobble. It's really hard to escape the Glacial Augment. But it is a brilliant collapse from Invictus Gaming to get their bot lanes backs and make sure that they can get a little bit more gold to get them out of the hole they put themselves in.
Yeah, and Rookie just turns up to the plane and is just like, well, I've just got a billion summoner spells. Who wants to drop another one for me? He's able to place down that Foundry Ignite. That ticks down onto Crisp, and he just has to bleed out, unfortunately, so not a lot he can do. But now, Rookie, he's 4-0-1 in this game. He's absolutely gigantic. He's got the Morellonomicon. He has the Haunting Guys as well. Like, it doesn't feel like anything can stop this guy.
And it showcases that Rookie is a grinder. He took the time, he put in the practice hours, he figured out how Zoe works, and then someone was foolish enough to leave it open to allow the best mid laner in the LPL to have one of the strongest champions in the game, and we're seeing the byproduct of that.
A little bit awkward heading into a game 3 as well. That Q went completely wide by Pepper. This tower will eventually go down though because of the pressure that he has exerted by simply arriving.
And this is a smart call from FPX. Just continue to throw everything in the kitchen sink into the top tower, or into the bottom tower. You know you need to break it. There's no way you can help out the top lane unless you bring in multiple members.
Okay, this is really bad. Execution is calling picked up by TheShy, so we will be able to get the chase down onto Gimgoon, finish him off, and now he'll just tank the minions as well because he can do that.
And Gimgoon's flash was up. I don't know if he just miscalculated the burst damage that was coming out, but hold on. Speaking of burst, here comes Rookie.
Trying to catch out Crisp and Pepper right now. Baolan will connect the Winter's Bite, but it looks like they want the disengage. Ning going to take away this boop right here. Yeah, seems like this is going to be well defended out from IG, but yeah, in that top lane trade, honestly, I don't think Gimgoon looked at the items because that was TheShy moving into a trade as soon as he'd just gone for that first back. So I just don't think he looked at the items.
It's also the itemization that he has, the fact that it's a very early execution calling. He already has the Blade of the Ruined King complete, so he's got the sustain, he's got the shred, he has the punish of the grievous wounds. There is nothing Gimgoon can do. He needs his team to help him, or he needs to use his TP, just sacrifice the top tower and try to make a play happen with that Vladimir ultimate.
But currently they're bleeding out in every single lane, so everybody needs help. Everyone is crying for Pepper to come help them, but he's trying to win through the bottom side, but even that's not working because Rookie can go down there, Ning can go down there. Ning is actually just camping behind second turret. Crisp and LWX, someone's going to be dying here. Crisp wants to try and help him out, does get the gobble up. Spits him to safety, but he's put to sleep once again. In comes Rookie, very low to death.
And it's just the shift play from Invictus Gaming. You take a look at mid lane, you can see that TheShy shoved in top lane. He covered for Rookie to allow Rookie to shift down to the bottom side. And again, just like in game number 1, it's Ning and Rookie that are winning the entire map, just moving around their lanes. TheShy was left on an island, he won on his own, but now it's Ning and Rookie picking up JackeyLove and Baolan. And suddenly IG on all cylinders.
Wow, Gimgoon actually deciding he wants this fight right here. He was waiting for TheShy to come into the top lane. Knows has the minion advantage, and he has Beam coming in now. TheShy, he knows there's a reason for this, so we'll look to back away here, but he's so incredibly fast with this build. The fact he has the Blade of the Ruined King, and he has the transform movement speed, he can just run away.
And unfortunately, that means that Bing's not positioned to help out. Ooh. If those spells had connected from Rookie, that's a very easy push on mid tower. So good hold from LWX and Crisp to survive the onslaught. And FPX, they're trying to make the right call. You know, they're trying to send the Gimgoon's got his flares up. They're trying to get help up there. Doesn't connect. They did manage to cover the response play from IG though.
It was a good look there from Bing to try and go towards that top lane. And TheShy, to be fair, he's now out of mana, so he doesn't have as much pressure in the top lane now as he naturally would have. So they have actually bought some time in the top lane, but that's all they have right now. And I don't see anything they can convert it into.
What it's converting into right now are about 3 to 4 waves. Caitlyn, I believe, picked up 1.5 on the bot side. Taliyah just got 2 right there, and Vladimir also got 1 up into the top side. And really, it's just those tiny wins that FPX have to take at this point repeatedly until they feel that they have a better footing in the game that comes through itemization. You're really looking on how Vladimir is going to interact with Taliyah and Caitlyn's damage in terms of 5v5s. But again, if IG keeps splitting up FPX and forcing them to a 1-3-1 or a 1-4 scenario, that's exactly what they want, and they're going to continue to win with TheShy.
Right, and what I meant to say was looking towards objectives, because I was looking at the Rip Herald and my mouth said something else. So I was looking towards the Rip Herald and I was like, there's no way they can contest this right now. So IG will pick that one up and then look towards one of these lanes now, especially if they can chuck Gimgoon to play off. I cannot believe that Sleepy Trouble Ball will hit, and Ning will find the kill.
threaded like a needle there from Rookie. It looks very similar to how he's known for his Syndra stuns there, threading these sleepy trouble bubbles, and
wow.
he is an absolute terror.
They are dropping the Herald on an inhibitor tower at 18 minutes into this game. This is going to hurt. LWS got chunked out as well, I believe by Rookie. It had to be. Bing is doing his best, but he's getting caught out. He's put to sleep once more. Someone needs to block for this man. In fact, he's going to burn the cleanse, but the tower's down, and the Herald, she's still pushing.
And while they're pushing for this inhib, there goes Bing. TheShy is still in the bottom lane with a massive creep wave. He's going to get the tower as well.
Down goes the inhibitor, and I don't think IG will look for anything else, but the Herald will get another charge off. TheShy completely uncontested in bot lane.
Here comes Pepper to slow him down. Thankfully, the creep wave also runs out, but that's a tower at 10% HP in another lane, as well as an open inhib at 19 minutes into this game.
Yeah, IG have definitely turned it on in this game through every single means. And FPX, it was just a loss across the board, unfortunately. And yes, there was one point in the map that maybe could have won, but even that didn't work out on the bot side.
But here's the good news. So the good news is that at 20 minutes into the game, there is now a free open farm lane in the top for FPX. So take another look as Bing will just pop here. So if Invictus Gaming don't continue to apply the pressure, there is hope and there is a free and safe resource that FPX have access to continue to get gold on their carries. You can see Bing is doing it right now. Eventually this wave will shove back because of the super creeps, and whoever they want can grab that. The problem is that Invictus Gaming have Zoe and close to a 10k gold lead, and Zoe, Jayce, and Tristana are not champions that should ever slow down at this point.
I was going to say, well, as we look towards the mid lane right now, because Chris was getting caught out, but they really want Bing. That's the person they really would like to kill right here. He flashes over the wall, and Chris, unfortunately, left to the walls once again, but JackeyLove will get the first kill, jump, look for the reset, get the second, gets his double mid laner and support down.
Which now means it's going to be another free mid tower, and depending on how hard they hit this, which I'm going to assume is very hard, it could be the mid inhib.
Pepper, he's waiting in the jungle, perhaps looking for a flank, but this is completely IG's territory. I mean, there's nowhere he could really stand that he's not going to be seen out. And Rookie just needs to follow him down pretty much.
But by pulling 4 members to chase Ning, they're also then not pushing the towers or the structures. So I feel like this game has become a bit of a hunt.
Yeah, I feel like IG just want to kill him at this point in time. They didn't necessarily need to, but it means that they can kill him, and conveniently, they killed him right next to Baron.
Sort of those situations where the game plan was, okay guys, we're gonna siege mid tower here, and then they see someone like, no, we're gonna kill him, we're gonna kill him. It was never like, we're gonna kill the jungler and then take the Baron, and then end the game. Literally, he died next to Baron. Yeah. It's ours now.
Yeah, pretty much. But you definitely could weave the narrative that way. And Invictus Gaming will pick up the Baron now, go back to base. And to be honest, FPX, the commodity that they need right now is time. And they just cannot find it because they're being engaged on.
Unfortunately, getting picked out in that mid lane. Just not enough deep vision. You take a look at their wards, they've got a lot of defensive vision behind them, but they have virtually no neutral vision. And so there's no information coming in. They can't see when these engages happen in front of them. Chris walking in front of a Braum, probably not going to be the healthiest thing to do.
And really, while it's not a perfect game, it's definitely a schooling. It's very close to being a perfect game because Invictus Gaming have completely strangled FPX out of this game. We just feel like we need to buckle up, come into our third game, and then again, it's also focusing around this pressure that Rookie has on this Zoe.
But it's how they did it in the old traditional IG way. You know, it was the fact that it was Rookie and Ning. It was TheShy winning on a carry-oriented champion and then them picking up their bot lane. This is not the new iteration of Invictus Gaming that they keep talking about in interviews, and showcases that, you know, in a game 3, when push comes to shove, IG will go back to the established game plan.
And they feel like that one right now is stronger. So it almost tells us they are trying to just still evolve that tactic that they're coming towards. That is maybe better in the long run, but right now, Rookie on the wrong side of the wall. This is maybe an opportunity for FPX to come in, but Baolan, he's blocking all of these shots out from that Taliyah, and he just takes a paddle star to the face as well. Bing will have to back away, and a shock blast. In comes Gimgoon, literally 1 versus 5. The team is not here. Flashes over the wall into the mouth of Tahm Kench.
And now this means that with 2 inhibitors down, they just need to 5-stack in 1 mid lane. Redemption. Yep. Thank you, Zoe.
Thank you, Zoe. We teleport back to base in from TheShy. He's got the teleport now. Go back to bottom lane with 4 HP and a fresh buy. Rookie will push into this middle lane as well. That poke continuing to come down. Palistar goes wide, but it is huge damage out from TheShy. He's looking for the engage. Rookie is dead, but it's both millers traded right here. Pepper buys a bit of time with the stopwatch, and JackeyLove, he's just waiting for targets to come in for. Finds one, gets the reset. Gimgoon zoning away at the back lines, but TheShy is so much damage at the front line. Gimgoon kited away from by JackeyLove. 4 kills to 1, and Invictus Gaming completely destroy their competition as they destroy both Nexus turrets at the same time. 15-3, 23 minutes, and it didn't even look like FPX had a game 2 that they won, because Invictus Gaming will sweep them under the rug. 2-1 victory.
That was a thrashing, a 23-minute victory from Invictus Gaming. They have one of the shortest average game times in the LPL, but they went back to the tried and true strategy. It's all about Rookie. They got him a priority pick of Zoe, and he got to flex on it.
Yes, he did. In fact, top lane has also got his chance to flex after that game too. It's very much a redemption game for him. TheShy, like, I'm picking this Jayce, I'm picking into Vladimir. It's a winning matchup already, but the fact that nobody could help Gimgoon because the mid lane was also collapsing was just the knock-on effect. So yes, he won the 1v1, but it was also because the team pulled together, and that all means that turns into a very well-deserved battle for Invictus Gaming, taking the final game here before Chinese New Year.
Big smiles across the board. They definitely deserve their R&R. Hopefully they come back after Chinese New Year even stronger, a bit more refined on some of these secondary strategies, you know, continuing to siphon some of that responsibility to JackeyLove.
And in a way, this is almost perfect for Invictus Gaming, because while they've looked shaky in games, they're still near undefeated. They only dropped that one game against RNG at the start of the split in their own group now, and then pushing towards the Western Conference. That's where the real challenges start to approach. WE are getting better, very close to full speed. Same with EDG as well. So when they start facing those teams, they need to be in top form. Chinese New Year, the perfect time for them to relax, as you say, get some R&R, then come back, start scrimming, get stronger and stronger. And it's almost like the schedule has favored IG here.
Yeah, definitely the Titans are starting to come online, and you talk about the schedule favoring Invictus Gaming. I also think the schedule will then favor FPX. You know, that was the big
That was
hurdle.
the raid bus at the start.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now they get to go on a big break, you know, reorganize themselves, find their momentum again, get all their ducks in a row. There's plenty that they can take away from the series, both good and bad, and it should be, you know, easier sailing from here. The other big powerhouse in the region that they need to face across conference is RNG, but otherwise they get their shot at LGD, Suning, TOP, JD Gaming, so should be better.
Yeah, those are wins that they can definitely pick up. They're not quite standing gold if you think of them in terms of turrets, but they are definitely teams that they could give it a good crack at, you know. And FPX, while they only get to play them once, which is obviously unfortunate because that's the way you would say, maybe that's the way that they pick up wins, move towards the playoffs. They can't necessarily do that because they do face them once. In cross-conference, maybe they can ride up momentum coming back into their own group. That's what you can hope for if you're FPX.
Yeah, and one of the conversations that we had at the very beginning of cross-conference is this idea that, you know, FPX have been rather unfortunate and unlucky in their own conference. Maybe if they were in the other conference, maybe they're just in the group of death, you know what I mean? And maybe if they were in the other conference, they might be, you know, a second or third place team. Now is their opportunity to prove it, and they got the best out of the way.
And that is, you know, the question that we can answer as they play the rest of the teams in cross-conference. That's going to do it from us, though. You're going to send it over to the analyst desk, though, to take a look at the series and close out the day.
Thank you so much. And, you know, Raz, sometimes I got to wonder, because when you're playing solo queue every once in a while, you have a crazy game. You pop off, and you do some really, really cool stuff. You ever wonder what your opponent looks like on the other side of the screen? And then Rookie has a performance like that, gets up, walks across the stage, and looks them in the eye and shakes their hand and says, good game. What is that like? How do you feel in that situation?
Get out of my face. That's how I feel.
What you feel?
That's it.
That's it. That's nothing.
That's your answer.
This team is nothing. Be gone.
Out of my face.
Okay.
Feels
well,
bad.
Then, let's break down this series, because obviously there were a lot more things that went right outside of Rookie just popping off on that Zoe.
And immediately just looking at the pick band in front of your screen, to me, is the 3 champions that we discussed about going into this one. Braum, Taliyah, Fiora for FPX. They didn't get 2 of those champions. For me, the most important being Braum. So that was a bottom side of the map that they didn't have access to constantly looking for ganks. It was not something that they had the ability to go for. In fact, Baolan had a pretty sick kill participation because he was constantly looking elsewhere. Mid lane was a big focal point. It was the Taliyah that we wanted to see be able to move out of the lane, but she was actually getting dived underneath turret, especially with the help of Braum. So the skirmishing factor was definitely in Invictus Gaming's favor, and they had a really strong early game just based off that fact.
Yeah, not to mention the fact that they had Ning coming in on that Sejuani pick once again, but this time looking a lot more confident on the champion, moving very aggressively around the map. And I think in part of that due to the fact that he had TheShy on that Jayce in the top lane, who could back up Ning whenever he wanted to invade.
Yeah, speaking about time limits, it's just the time bomb. We were talking about, of course, Gimgoon having the time bomb in the second game, the fact that he had the Fiora versus GP matchup, and it seems like heavy favor, of course. TheShy going into game 3 saying, please give me a proper matchup. Jayce doesn't get banned, so he gets Jayce this game.
Yeah.
Gets a Jayce rather early for himself, and we saw the early Vladimir pickup. So immediately, that is not a good lane for Vladimir. That is very poor just right from the get-go. Vladimir doesn't have the consistent damage because he has to work around his cooldowns versus an auto-attacking, long-range poke champion. It's a direct counter. The difficulties on top side, so that's legitimately a ticking time bomb really early on in the game. And we even saw the moment he got played of the Rune King, and then he was able to get the second item, of course, of the Grievous Wound that he was going to able to like constantly proc on the Vladimir. So that matchup is done and over with. And because FPX is not getting the ball rolling across the map, in fact, Zoe gets 2 kills, 4 kills, just because of what happened in the mishap in the bottom side of the map of a gank going wrong. Everything looks bad for FPX just because of the situation they were put in.
And, of course, as a result of that and all of the kills that we saw Rookie pick up, he's going to take our man of the match for this Game 3 against FPX. Massive damage, huge kills, 5, 1, and 7. He was chunking people out who couldn't even see him coming.
Yeah, 80% kill participation for a reason. He was across the map, started mid lane, but if he felt like someone was walking a little bit too far up in the top side of the map, he goes skipping top side, throws out a sleepy trouble bubble, nets somebody, gets a kill. That was a constant point where the moment he started to get the ball rolling in the bottom side of the map, this is the sadness, this is the sad point where it all starts, because this is where we thought FPX got a proper fight, getting a kill onto Braum, but look how slow they're going to be. They wanted to pick up the kill onto JackeyLove as well. They stuck far too long towards this fight. Of course, in hindsight, thinking they should just back away, but they're put in this position. And so, 2 kills for Zoe, goes back mid lane, and then she just starts going off.
The big hit here, picking up the flash, using his flash to chase down Bing, who has the flash. He can dodge this.
Close your eyes.
He just doesn't see it coming.
You see those highlight moments, and it's only really at the end of the game that you see those highlight moments, because that's when Zoe just gets access to so many angles to the backside.
Yeah.
So she's like, all right, I have 2 waves that I can walk with. I'm going to walk through mid lane, go and see if I can threaten the backside if we're sieging towards the top lane. There's so many ways for Zoe to end a game, so a lot of the times you just see 3 kills. Like, even if it doesn't turn into kill, they're all running back into base at the end of the game. So it's so easy to do well with Zoe when you have the initial snowball going. So it's just that impressive for Invictus Gaming to have it work out when they collapse to the bottom lane.
And this is IG turning away from that supportive style that we've been seeing them sort of prioritize during the first round of intra-conference play. Rookie on Galio, rookie on Orianna. Not like the aggressive battle ball Orianna, but the slower support JackeyLove style. Well, this game, he takes the whole thing into his hands and says, this is my carry.
That's the thing with Invictus Gaming. We saw it in game 1. They played that battle ball kind of play towards bottom lane, and then they swapped it up because they are flexible. They're flexible around AD carry. They can play that protection comp for JackeyLove when they feel the need to, and then when TheShy is having a tough time in the top lane and recognizes that this game needs to have a top lane heavy matchup, they immediately pivot towards giving him a proper matchup. The Jayce gets free, pick Jayce for him, and suddenly the identity changes quite a bit. So flex going into Invictus Gaming, very tough. You know that you need to be able to attack all 3 lanes given the game that you're going into, given the pick ban.
Yeah, and it's even more terrifying when you add the fact that Duke is still on the lineup. He's a huge tank. So if the meta shifts to tanky top laners, Maokai comes back. Who else is tanky? Malphite? I don't know why I went with Malphite. Of all champions, Invictus Gaming, suddenly they're rounding themselves out into something that looks to be really imposing.
Yeah, Duke has always been a strong team player. So if it ever comes down to the fact that they need to play around team fights a little bit more, then they can just bring in Duke. Or if TheShy is just getting a lot more comfortable in those team fight scenarios, if we're thinking back to, of course, last year where there were nerves on stage for him in these team fight games, then you can just kind of bring out the Duke, but it looks like he's doing quite well. We already saw him on Cho'Gath earlier on, and I really like that Cho'Gath game.
Yeah, that's something that we actually have to commend on him, talking about his nerves, because game 2, I think we saw that problem flare up again. The fact that he got caught so many times by that Gimgoon, but then he comes back in game 3 in a strong matchup.
Hold on now.
And he's recovered.
I'll stop you right there.
Okay, all right.
He got rushed down by Fiora. There is no nerves there.
You can pull a rug out from under me.
That's when you just throw the keyboard because the Fiora is just running at your face. So I won't blame that on nerves. I'll just blame that on matchup. and the pick ban that they were already in.
Well,
but I do agree with you. I do agree with you on the point of that. As time's going on, as game after game, set after set, and of course split after split, it seems like TheShy is getting a lot more comfortable on stage.
And of course, we do have to commend FPX going to Game 3 against the likes of Invictus Gaming. They were not quite able to close out this series, but still, they have got plenty more teams that they can try to challenge. LGD, Suning,
Yes.
RNG. Wow, I say those now. And suddenly...
It doesn't look that good,
yeah,
too.
because we're supposed to be saying, like, hey, this is cross-conference. This is where FPX is supposed to pick up their wins because their own conference is so stacked. But suddenly the east side is also looking pretty scary.
Yeah, because the growth factor is something you can't really amount for when you're going into week 1. Going into week 1, we saw some heavy-hitting names. We didn't expect the growth of Snake in the west side, and we didn't expect the growth of Jingdong, Suning Gaming, LGD even. We expected the worst of that one. So it seems like going into cross-conference, already in cross-conference, so many teams have that X factor, and they're continuing to grow. FPX is a good example of that.
And as a result of that, we can actually take a look at our updated standings from the end of today's games. With Invictus Gaming's win, they are now tied once again with Snake at 6-1. FPX still at 2-5. Their only 2 wins against Vici Gaming and the likes of Snake before they started off on that win streak.
Yeah, and with the wins starting to stack on the east side of the bracket, you just look at the fact that all of this, Jingdong, Suning Gaming, Rogue Warriors, all in the positive. And this really hurts RNG and LGD if they cannot catch wins. Thankfully, RNG did. But if the East is starting to be incredibly successful, then the bottom of the East are going to have a few beads of sweat dripping down as they go into the second phase.
And of course, we do still have to commend the East Conference. They are 4 versus 2 against the West Conference. We're still looking for a few more of those heavy hitters from the West Conference to show up. But of course, that's not going to be happening until after the new year because, again, this is our last broadcast until Friday, February 23rd, when the LPL will be coming back, as we're going to be out celebrating the Chinese New Year here. Of course, that's plenty of time for you to catch up on all of our awesome games, and more importantly, keep on with what's going on with the rest of the world of League of Legends. Though I know here in the LPL, we try to ignore what else is going on as much as possible by picking our own aggressive champions and making our own meta.
Yep, 43-minute, 47-minute, 90-minute games. We have none of that.
And of course, we've got some matches coming up for you on that day as well. That's going to be pretty exciting when we actually get to see what those are. It's TOP versus Vici, a chance to finally allow one of these two teams to take a win for themselves, both of them without a single series win here in 2018. Just after that, OMG challenging Invictus Gaming.
Yeah, and so TOP versus Vici is always the most interesting win. Of course, that's hilarious to say because OMG and IG are the most successful ones, but you really do want to hold your breath and find out who takes their first win in the LPL. Is it Vici? Is it TOP? This is unavoidable. You're in cross-conference. One of you has to take a win.
Yeah. What do you think it's going to be?
Oh, good Lord. Are you putting me on
I
the
got to
spot?
put you to the question.
All right.
I asked Rusty. He said it was TOP. That was his bet.
Rolling the dice, I'll say Vici.
Vici. Okay, so we've got 1-1. We're going to have to poll the entire analyst desk, all of our analysts, to see which one is going for. Sure, why not? Look, one of these two teams has to win. It's not possible to tie in League of Legends.
All right. But if Rusty loses this,
oh, you're going to escalate this.
he's going to have to give me his glasses.
Ooh, escalating it to a bet off camera. Rusty's not even here. Somebody get him on some sort of chat so we can see if he agrees to the stakes.
But that's going to be the most interesting thing, of course, is the two teams going into out of cross-conference play. If they can pick up the win and if they can continue to grow.
Yeah, and again, the big hope is that they can actually close out and start to pick up some momentum to get themselves closer to playoffs by the end of the split. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us with the closeout of this series and the Chinese New Year coming at you. We're going to be taking a break for a few weeks. So on behalf of myself, my analyst, our wonderful casters, and the whole production crew, have a happy Chinese New Year, and we'll see you Friday, February 23rd.